Hello, and welcome back to The Green Path, the podcast where we discuss how we can all take small steps toward a more sustainable future. Today we're diving into a topic that has never been more relevant than it is now: sustainability. From climate change to plastic pollution, from carbon footprints to the resources we consume every day, sustainability is a concept that affects every aspect of our lives. So, today, I want to explore why sustainability matters and how it's crucial for the health of our planet and future generations. Sustainability is one of those words we hear all the time. We see it on packaging, in ads, and across social media platforms. But honestly, how many of us truly understand what sustainability really means in practice? When you hear sustainability, you might think about recycling or using less plastic, but it goes far beyond that. At its core, sustainability is about meeting our needs today without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Think about it. Our planet has a finite amount of resources, yet we live in a world that's constantly demanding more. We're extracting raw materials, burning fossil fuels, and producing waste at an unsustainable rate. If we continue down this path, we're essentially borrowing from future generations, leaving them with a world that's harder to live in. I think one of the most pressing reasons sustainability is so important today is because of the environmental crisis we're facing. Climate change, deforestation, ocean acidification, these are just a few of the consequences of our unsustainable behaviors. Let me give you an example of what's happening right now in the world. Just last year, the Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the earth, was facing its worst year in terms of deforestation in over a decade. Over 10,000 square kilometers of rainforest were lost in just 1 year. That's an area roughly the size of Belgium. And that's not just a loss of trees. The Amazon absorbs vast amounts of carbon dioxide, and when we destroy it, not only do we lose this crucial carbon sink, but we also release huge amounts of CO2 back into the atmosphere. This isn't just a distant, abstract problem. We're already seeing the effects of climate change. The increasing frequency of wildfires, more intense storms, rising sea levels, and the loss of biodiversity, these are all interconnected issues that are linked to unsustainable practices. As temperatures rise and weather patterns change, entire ecosystems are being destroyed, and that's going to affect everything from food security to our health. I'm sure you've noticed it, too. Our summers are getting hotter, winters are becoming milder, and extreme weather events are happening more frequently. These aren't isolated incidents. They are a warning sign of a planet in distress. And that brings us to one of the biggest questions we all need to ask ourselves. What role do we play in this? I think many of us feel a bit powerless when it comes to tackling these enormous challenges. We see the news, we hear about the crisis, and sometimes it feels like there's little we can do to make a difference. But here's the thing. The power to create change is within our hands. Every choice we make, from how we consume to how we produce waste to how we engage with companies and governments, sends a signal about the kind of world we want to live in. Sustainability is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a multifaceted approach that involves a shift in how we live our daily lives. It's about changing the way we think about resources, about what we value, and about how we interact with the natural world. That could mean reducing waste, supporting renewable energy, or choosing products that are ethically produced. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so we know climate change is real and we need to do something about it. But where do we start? Well, the great news is that sustainability can start with small changes, the things we do every day. Let's talk about food for a second. Did you know that food production is one of the leading causes of deforestation, water consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions? The meat and dairy industry in particular has a huge environmental impact. By choosing to eat more plant-based foods, you can reduce your personal carbon footprint. It's not about being perfect, but making more sustainable choices in our diets can have a real, measurable impact. But sustainability isn't just about what we consume. It's also about what we discard. Did you know that 91% of plastic is never recycled? That means millions of tons of plastic end up in our oceans, where they harm marine life and enter our food chain. Reducing single-use plastics, recycling responsibly, and opting for reusable items are all ways we can contribute to reducing plastic waste. But it's not just individual actions that matter. It's also about the larger systems in place. Governments, corporations, and industries need to step up and make sustainability a priority. Take the energy sector, for example. Transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower is one of the most crucial steps we can take to combat climate change. And this is where government policy comes in. We need policies that incentivize clean energy and penalize practices that harm the environment. And we, as consumers, have the power to influence these decisions. When we choose to support companies that prioritize sustainability, when we vote for politicians who are committed to protecting the environment, we're sending a powerful message that we want change. We want a world where sustainability isn't an option, it's a necessity. Sustainability also encompasses social and economic factors. It's not just about environmental impact, but about ensuring that our actions create a better future for everyone, both in terms of equity and social justice. Sustainable development isn't just about protecting the planet, it's about creating a more fair and equitable world. It's about ensuring that future generations have access to the same resources and opportunities that we do today, without leaving anyone behind. The truth is, sustainability is about creating a world where we live in harmony with the environment. It's about finding balance, understanding that we are part of a much larger system that we need to respect. But the good news is that every step we take toward a more sustainable world makes a difference. It's in the choices we make in our everyday lives, the actions we take to reduce waste, conserve energy, and be mindful of the world around us. It's in the conversations we have and the communities we build. We have the power to change the course we're on. If we take responsibility for our actions, and if we hold ourselves accountable, there's still hope for a sustainable, thriving planet. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Green Path. I hope this episode has inspired you to reflect on your own role in creating a more sustainable future. Whether it's reducing your carbon footprint, supporting sustainable businesses, or simply spreading awareness, every action counts. Together, we can make a lasting difference. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave us a review. Remember, sustainability isn't a trend, it's a movement. Let's keep walking that green path together. Until next time.